Good afternoon. This is All India Radio. I'm Anubha Rohatgi, and with me is Rupinder Kaur Chawla with the Midday News. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi leads the nation in paying tribute to the brave hearts at National War Memorial on 50th anniversary of Vijay Diwas. Farmers' welfare is prime concern of the government, says INB Minister Prakash Javadekar. National COVID-19 recovery rate improves to 95.21%. In Jammu and Kashmir, polling concludes for 7th phase of District Development Council elections. Visiting UK Foreign Secretary Dominic Raab calls on the Prime Minister. And in cricket, India and Australia to lock horns in the first day and night test match at Adelaide Oval tomorrow. As the nation fights the COVID-19 pandemic, we begin with a message of precaution to stay safe and protected by following these 3 simple steps. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki doori for social distancing, focus on hand and face hygiene. And now the news in detail. Prime Minister Narendra Modi paid tribute at National War Memorial this morning on the 50th anniversary of the 1971 India-Pakistan War. On the occasion, Defence Minister Rajnath Singh unveiled the logo for Swarnim Vijay Varsh to mark the anniversary of the war. Vijay Diwas is observed every year on December 16th as a mark of victory over Pakistan in the 1971 war that also led to the creation of Bangladesh. The Defence Minister also saluted the bravery of Indian Army on Vijay Diwas. In a tweet, Mr. Singh said the soldiers wrote a new chapter on bravery. He said their sacrifice evokes inspiration in Indians and the nation will always revere them.
December 16th is a monumental day in the history of world politics when in just a span of 13 days a war was fought and a sovereign nation Bangladesh was born. The war also unveiled the real face of Pakistan and atrocities it inflicted on its own people in erstwhile East Pakistan. The 1971 war was a fallout of the oppressive political and economic policies of West Pakistan towards East Pakistan, which caused unimaginable human sufferings, leading to the exodus of more than 10 million refugees into India. In a historical address at the Raman Racecourse in Dhaka in early 1971, Sheikh Mujibur Rahman promised them that the struggle for independence will continue till Mukti Bahini reaches a certain destination, that is, creation of new sovereign country.
আমার মুক্তির সংগ্রাম এবারে সংগ্রাম স্বাধীনতার সংগ্রাম আমার 25 তারিখে অ্যাসেম্বলি কল করেছে রক্তের দাগ শুধায় নাই আমি 10 তারিখে বলে দিয়েছি যে ওই শহীদের রক্তের উপর দিয়ে পাড়া দিয়ে আজ কৃষিতে মুজিবুর রহমান যোগদান করতে পারে না জয় বাংলা
The military option was exercised by India only when all political and diplomatic efforts to resolve the issue failed. The 1971 war is also remembered as one of the shortest duration wars which changed the geopolitics of South Asia. Within 3 days of the declaration of war, Indian forces were able to completely ground the Pakistani Air Force. Then came the historic broadcast by Army Chief General Manik Shah on All India Radio asking General Niazi to lay down arms. He assured them of treatment as per the Geneva Convention. Chief of Eastern Command, Lieutenant General J.F.R. Jacob said, anticipating forthcoming is Pakistan governor asked President Zahir Khan to go for negotiations with Indian force. When Lieutenant General Jacob landed near Dhaka and compelled Niazi to sign the instrument of surrender.
As we landed, I was received by the Pakistan Army Chief of Staff, plus there were the foreign press, the whole lot of them, as well as the United Nations representatives who offered us their good services to negotiate. I felt that they had no role in the surrender, so I thanked them, and I then proceeded on towards Niazi's headquarters. We had a lot of trouble in reaching Niazi's headquarters. Fighting was still going on in the bits of the town. We could hear the firing, and Mukti Bahini stopped us, and they wanted to attack Niazi's headquarters. I told them Niazi was about to surrender and there was no point in doing so.
In the meantime, General Jagjit Arora wanted that the signing of instrument of surrender should be done publicly, and it was taken place accordingly.
I had decided that we take the surrender in public view. So that's why the surrender was taken on the race course. And the public has gathered there in absolutely large numbers. which has had a tremendous effect on public.
News Services Division of All India Radio in its program Spotlight will broadcast a feature on Vijay Diwas tonight. This can be heard on FM Gold channel and additional frequencies from 9:15 p.m. onwards. This program will also be available on our website newsonair.com and on our YouTube channel News on AIR Official. You can listen to it on our mobile app News on AIR.
Bangladesh is celebrating Vijay Diwas or Victory Day today to mark the day it attained liberation from Pakistan and became an independent nation in 1971 under the leadership of Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. As a mark of respect to the martyrs of the Liberation War of Bangladesh, wreaths were placed at the National Memorial in Savar on the outskirts of Dhaka on behalf of the President M. Abdul Hamid and Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina in the morning. The Victory Day is being observed on a limited scale due to the prevailing corona pandemic in this country. In her message on the occasion, Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina warned that the government will not allow anyone to create anarchy in the country in the name of religion. She said that her government is determined to prevent any attempt to use religion as a political weapon to create social unrest. On this day in 1971, the commander of the Pakistani forces in Bangladesh, General A.A.K. Niazi, along with more than 90,000 soldiers, surrendered before the Indian Army and Mukti Bahini in Dhaka, heralding the birth of a new nation, Bangladesh. The victory over Pakistan Army was achieved after a 9-month-long liberation war carried by the people of Bangladesh and supported by Indian Armed Forces.
Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, in her message on the occasion of Vijay Diwas, called Bangladesh the land of Lalon Shah, Rabindranath Tagore, Qazi Nazrul Islam and Jivanando. She reminded that Bangladesh gained its independence based on the sacrifice of people of all faiths and religions, including Muslims, Hindus, Buddhists and Christians. She added that Bangladesh has the heritage of liberal spirituality and pluralism. Sheikh Hasina cautioned people that some forces in the country are trying to mislead ordinary Muslims to create unrest and pull back the country to the situation that prevailed 50 years back. She called upon the youth to uphold this spirit and not forget the sacrifice of the forefathers. Rajesh Jha, AIR News, Dhaka.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi reiterated that the central government is always committed to the welfare of farmers and it will keep assuring the farmers and addressing their concerns. The Prime Minister was speaking after laying foundation stones of various developmental projects at Dhurdo in Kutch district of Gujarat yesterday.
मैं अपने किसान भाई बहनों से फिर एक बार कह रहा हूं, बार बार दोहराता हूं कि उनकी हर शंका के समाधान के लिए सरकार 24 घंटे तैयार है। किसानों का हित पहले दिन से हमारी सरकार की सर्वोच्च प्राथमिकताओं में से एक रहा। खेती पर किसानों का खर्च कम हो, उन्हें नए नए विकल्प मिले, उनकी आय बढ़े, किसानों की मुश्किलें कम हो, इसके लिए हमने निरंतर काम किया।
The projects unveiled by Prime Minister include a desalinization plant, a hybrid renewable energy park and a fully automated milk processing and packing plant. Addressing the gathering, Mr. Modi said farmers gathered near Delhi are being misled about the agriculture reforms as part of a conspiracy. The Prime Minister accused the opposition parties of misguiding the farmers. Agriculture Minister Narendra Singh Tomar has reiterated that government is willing to continue dialogue with genuine farmer unions and find a solution with an open mind. He asserted that minimum support price MSP is an administrative decision and will continue as it is. Mr. Tomar met the members of Bharatiya Kisan Union, Kisan from Uttar Pradesh yesterday. The leaders of the union welcomed the Farm Acts and said that the acts will be beneficial for farmers. However, they submitted a memorandum to the minister with suggestions regarding the Farm Acts and MSP. Talking to reporters after the meeting in New Delhi, the Agriculture Minister stated that the union have said these bills are in interest of farmers and should not be withdrawn at any cost.
भारतीय किसान यूनियन के सभी राष्ट्रीय और प्रादेशिक पदाधिकारी उत्तर प्रदेश से यहाँ आए हुए हैं और उन्होंने इन तीनों कृषि सुधार बिलों का बहुत ताकत से समर्थन किया है और उन्होंने कहा है कि हम बिलों के साथ हैं, सरकार के साथ हैं। कृषि में ऐसे सुधार बिलों की अपेक्षा लंबे समय से थी। कई जगह किसान कुछ भ्रम फैला रहे हैं और इसलिए इन लोगों के मन में भी भ्रम था। जब मैंने विषय को रखा तो उन्होंने कहा कि हम पूरी तरह बिलों का समर्थन यहाँ भी करते हैं और अब जिला स्थान तक जाएंगे और बिलों के बारे में किसानों को बताएंगे।
During the meeting, the union leaders suggested that farmers should be given the option of going to civil courts in case of dispute. They also suggested that the panchayat head should be accorded the same importance as the head of the mandi to safeguard the rights of farmers in small towns and villages.
Information and Broadcasting Minister Prakash Javadekar today reiterated the government is always committed to farmers' welfare and will keep assuring the farmers addressing their concerns. Mr. Javadekar said the agricultural reforms that have taken place are exactly what farmers' bodies and even opposition parties have been asking for over the years. The government has said that about 41,72,000 paddy farmers have benefited during the ongoing Kharif marketing season with minimum support price value of more than 71,000 crore rupees. The Agriculture Ministry said the government continues to procure Kharif crops at its minimum support price from farmers as per its existing MSP schemes. It said the procurement is continuing smoothly in Punjab, Haryana, Uttar Pradesh, Telangana, Uttarakhand, Tamil Nadu, Chandigarh, Jammu and Kashmir, Kerala, Gujarat, Andhra Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Odisha, Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra and Bihar. Out of the total purchase of over 380 lakh tons, more than 202 lakh tons has been purchased from Punjab, which is around 53.33% of the total procurement in the country.
The Supreme Court today said it is mooting the formation of committee to hold talks with the agitating farmers and settle the matter amicably. A bench comprising Chief Justice S.A. Bobde and Justices A.S. Bopanna and V. Ramasubramanian said the panel will have members of Bharatiya Kisan Union, Government of India and other farmer organizations. The court was hearing two petitions seeking removal of farmers protesting at the Delhi-NCR borders against the recently passed Farm Acts. The Apex Court has issued notice to Central, Haryana, Uttar Pradesh, Delhi and Punjab governments in the petition. It has also said that the petitioners can implead the organizations and unions representing the protesting farmers. The case will be heard again tomorrow. In the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir, the 7th phase of DDC elections 2020 recorded voter percentage of 28.24%. Across different constituencies spread over different districts of the Union Territory till 11 a.m. today. Kashmir Valley recorded an overall polling percentage of 20.55, while Jammu Division recorded 34.63% up to 11 a.m. In Jammu Division, Poonch recorded voting percentage of 43.20, followed by Samba 39.13% and Kathua 38.47%, while in Kashmir Valley, Bandipora recorded 39.76%, Budgaon 26.11%, 26.11%, followed by Kupwara 25.13%. In the 7th phase of DDC elections, voting held in 31 DDC constituencies, 13 from Kashmir Division and 18 from Jammu Division.
In Kerala local body polls, the ruling Left Democratic Front LDF leads in most of the urban and rural local bodies. A report.
As per the trends at 1:30 p.m., LDF is leading in 4 out of 6 corporations. Congress-led UDF is leading in 2 corporations. While Thiruvananthapuram, Kollam, Kozhikode and Kochi stands with LDF, Thrissur and Kannur is with UDF. In Kochi corporation, the leads are changing as both the LDF and UDF are in tight fight. BJP-led NDA had fared well in Thiruvananthapuram corporation as it is presently in 2nd position after LDF, while UDF was reduced to 3rd place. In municipalities, UDF leads in 45 places, LDF in 35 and NDA is leading in 2. In case of Grama Panchayat, LDF is leading in 511 for 941 panchayats, followed by UDF in 367 panchayats and NDF in 27. LDF also has a clear lead in block panchayats with a lead of 115 blocks, UDF in 34 and NDA in 1 block. Out of the 14 district panchayats, LDF is leading in 10 and UDF in 4. Mayusha for AR News from Thiruvananthapuram.
You are listening to the Midday News on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Prime Minister Narendra Modi leads the nation in paying tribute to the brave hearts at National War Memorial on 50th anniversary of Vijay Diwas. Farmers' welfare is prime concern of the government, says INB Minister Prakash Javadekar. National COVID-19 recovery rate improves to 95.21%. In Jammu and Kashmir, polling concludes for 7th phase of District Development Council elections. Visiting UK Foreign Secretary Dominic Raab calls on Prime Minister. And in cricket, India and Australia to lock horns in the first day and night test match at the Adelaide Oval tomorrow. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts.
चलो मिलकर एक शुरुआत करें
The national COVID-19 recovery rate has improved to 95.21% in the past 24 hours. With 33,813 new discharges, the total discharged cases reached 94,56,449. With 26,382 new COVID cases in 24 hours, India's total cases have gone up to 99,32,548. The Health Ministry said with 387 new deaths in 24 hours, the death toll has reached 1,44,096. The total active cases are now over 3,32,000. Union Health Secretary Rajesh Bhushan has said that India's case fatality rate, CFR, is amongst the lowest in the world.
रिकवरी रेट की अगर बात करें तो हम 95% से अधिक रिकवरी कर चुके हैं। यूएसए, इटली, रशिया, ब्राजील के रिकवरी रेट हमने आपको दिखाए हैं। यूके और फ्रांस नियमित रूप से अपने रिकवरी रेट रिपोर्ट नहीं करते हैं, तो विश्व की जो अनेकों वेबसाइट्स हैं जो इस तरह के आंकड़ों को ट्रैक करती हैं, उसमें आपको इन दो देशों के रिकवरी रेट नहीं मिलेंगे। लेकिन जो देश नियमित रूप से रिपोर्ट करते हैं, उनके साथ हमने भारत की तुलना की है और आपके सामने ये आंकड़ा रखा है।
He said at present India's CFR is 1.45%, whereas globally it is 2.26%. Mr. Bhushan said a multi-level governance mechanism has been set up to monitor the work related to COVID-19 vaccination. He added that 23 ministries and departments of government and states have been identified and assigned roles for a vaccine rollout.
23 मंत्रालय और विभाग भारत सरकार में और राज्य सरकारों में चिन्हित किए गए हैं और उनको स्पेसिफिक भूमिका बांटी गई है और ये भूमिका है प्लानिंग से संबंधित, इम्प्लीमेंटेशन से संबंधित, सोशल मोबिलाइजेशन से संबंधित और अवेयरनेस जनरेशन से संबंधित। जब भी वैक्सीन का रोल आउट होता है उस समय इन 23 मंत्रालयों और विभागों की खास जवाबदेही रहेगी। इसके अतिरिक्त ट्रेनिंग का काम बहुत तेजी से आगे बढ़ा है। मेडिकल ऑफिसर्स के लिए ट्रेनिंग मॉड्यूल तैयार हो गए हैं, वैक्सीनेटर्स जो हैं उनके लिए ट्रेनिंग मॉड्यूल तैयार हो गए हैं, उनके जो वैकल्पिक वैक्सीनेटर्स होंगे उनके भी तैयार हो गए हैं। कोल्ड चेन हैंडलर्स, सुपरवाइजर्स, डाटा मैनेजर्स, आशा कोऑर्डिनेटर्स, इन सब के ट्रेनिंग मॉड्यूल तैयार हो गए हैं।
The government has said that protocols for management of any adverse reaction due to coronavirus vaccines have been established. Health Ministry officials have informed that the possibility of few adverse reactions post-immunization cannot be ruled out. It said the guidelines for managing such minor, severe or serious events have been included in the vaccination drive guidelines. The officials informed that in accordance with these guidelines, limited number of vaccinations will be administered in each immunization session. Post-vaccination, 30-minute on-site monitoring of people has also been mandated as per these guidelines. The Health Ministry has asked states and union territories to prepare for such events and accordingly set up at least one AEFI or Adverse Event Following Immunization Center in each block. Additionally, primary healthcare facilities, community health centers and private medical facilities would also function as AEFI management centers in the state.
In Bihar, the number of active cases of COVID-19 is continuously declining. Currently, 4,919 patients are undergoing treatment at various hospitals. In all, 624 patients recovered in the last 24 hours, while 579 new cases were reported. 2,37,996 patients have so far recovered from the infection in the state. Meanwhile, COVID-19 recovery rate has improved to 97.44%. This is 2.23% more than the national average. Over 1,23,000 corona tests were carried out during the past 24 hours. Over 1,65 lakh corona tests have been conducted in the state so far. In Karnataka, 1,185 new COVID cases were reported since yesterday and 1,594 persons with COVID infection were discharged after recovery. The recovery rate is over 96% since over a week. There were 11 deaths reported due to the COVID-19 at the same time. The numbers of active COVID cases have come down to 15,645 in the state, out of which 253 are in ICU. The state reported a positivity rate of 1.32% and fatality rate of 0.92% yesterday.
In Tripura, the number of active cases of COVID-19 is declining. As of today, the number of active cases has dropped down to 282. According to the State Health Bulletin, so far 32,374 patients infected with the virus have been cured out of the total 33,057 positive cases registered so far. In Mizoram, the active cases of COVID-19 infections are also declining. So far, 3,894 infected people have been discharged from different COVID care centers after recovery. The number of active cases has dropped down to 179. In the past 24 hours, the state has recorded 31 new cases, while 24 patients recovered from the coronavirus infection, taking the tally to 4,080. According to the State Medical Bulletin, the recovery rate has improved to 96.14%.
Telangana state reported 536 fresh COVID cases during the past 24 hours. With this, the total COVID cases reported in the state has gone up to 279,135. The state conducted about 48,000 tests yesterday. The recovery rate slightly improved to 96.88%, with 622 more people recovering yesterday. This took the number of recovered people so far in the state to 270,450. In view of COVID-19 pandemic, the winter session of Parliament will not be held this year, and Parliament will meet directly during the budget session in January next year. In a letter to Congress leader in Lok Sabha, Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary, Parliamentary Affairs Minister Prahlad Joshi said he had informally contacted floor leaders of various political parties, and they have expressed their concerns about the ongoing pandemic and opined of doing away with winter session.
The News Services Division brings glimpses of the year that was in our special series Year-Ender. The COVID-19 pandemic has been the biggest story of the year, and India has seen the fight back against the pandemic under the dynamic leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. One of the important pillars of support for the street vendors in this period has been the PM Street Vendors Atmanirbhar Nidhi or PM Swanidhi scheme. It has played a crucial role in providing credit assistance to street vendors across the country. Interacting with the beneficiaries of UP in October this year, the Prime Minister said for the first time since independence, such a scheme has been launched to protect the interest of street vendors. Our correspondent takes a look at the progress made under the scheme and how it has benefited street vendors across the country.
Launched on 1st June this year, PM Swanidhi has come as a big relief for the street vendors who wanted to resume livelihood activities post-COVID-19 lockdown. More than 30 lakh applications have been received. Out of these, over 16 lakh have been sanctioned and over 11 lakh credit assistance have been disbursed. This scheme targets to benefit over 50 lakh street vendors. It provides an affordable working capital loan of up to 10,000 rupees to them to resume their livelihood affected due to COVID-19 lockdown. This amount is repayable in monthly installments in 1 year. On timely or early repayment of the loan, an interest subsidy of 7% per annum will be credited to the bank accounts of beneficiaries through direct benefit transfer on quarterly basis. The scheme also promotes digital transactions through cashback incentives up to 100 rupees per month. Moreover, the credit limit can be enhanced on timely or early repayment of the loan. Recently, the Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs has also entered into an MOU with Swiggy, the leading foods delivery platform, to onboard street food vendors on its e-commerce platform. It provides them online access to thousands of consumers and help these vendors grow their businesses. Monitoring the progress has now been inbuilt with an online dashboard and the PM Swanidhi portal. The timely launch, implementation and monitoring of PM Swanidhi has been of immense help to the street vendors in difficult times of coronavirus pandemic. Divakar, AR News, Delhi.
UK Foreign Secretary Dominic Raab today called on Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Recalling his recent telephone conversation with Prime Minister Boris Johnson, Mr. Modi stressed on the importance of India-UK partnership in the post-COVID world. The Prime Minister called for an ambitious and outcome-oriented 360-degree roadmap covering trade and investment, defense and security, migration and mobility, education, energy, climate change and health in order to tap the full potential of the bilateral relationship. Foreign Secretary Raab conveyed greetings of Prime Minister Boris Johnson to Mr. Modi and thanked him for participating in the recently held Climate Ambition Summit co-hosted by UK. He also stressed on the priority that the UK government attaches in order to further strengthen relations with India based on shared values and interests and the potential to address common global challenges together. Mr. Raab also handed over a letter from Prime Minister Boris Johnson inviting Mr. Modi to attend the G7 meeting to be chaired by UK in 2021. The Prime Minister thanked him and accepted the invitation. Yesterday, Mr. Raab had confirmed that UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson has accepted India's invite to be the chief guest at the Republic Day parade next month.
Today, Kazakhstan is celebrating its 29th anniversary as a sovereign independent nation. Relations between India and Kazakhstan are ancient and historical, going back to more than 2,000 years. Both the countries actively cooperate under the aegis of multilateral fora, including CICA, SCO, and the UN organizations. In an exclusive interview with AIR News, Yerlan Alimbayev, the ambassador of the Republic of Kazakhstan, shared his insights on India-Kazakh relations. He said India is one of the key political, trade, economic and investment partners of Kazakhstan.
In recent times, the bond of friendship between the countries have grown even stronger by recent bilateral exchanges, including the two last visits of Prime Minister of India, Narendra Modi in 2015, and the second visit was in 2017 to attend the Shanghai Cooperation Organization summit. For Kazakhstan, India is one of the key political, trade, economic and investment partners in the region.
For the excerpts of the interview, listen to the Parikrama program on FM Gold channel and additional frequencies from 4:30 p.m.
Foreign Minister of Bangladesh, Dr. A.K. Abdul Momen, has said that the bilateral cooperation on COVID-19 pandemic was likely to be top on the agenda during the virtual summit meeting between Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina and Prime Minister Narendra Modi. He said that India has already promised to provide COVID-19 vaccine to Bangladesh, and the talks are expected to reinforce that understanding, reports the official news agency BSS. Speaking about connectivity issues, Dr. Momen said that during the COVID-19 pandemic, both countries established the air bubble arrangement. He said that Dhaka would seek to re-establish other connectivity modes like restoring land borders and railway links to resume travel of people at a large scale. Earlier, it was announced that the two leaders will inaugurate the reopening of the Chilla-Hati-Haldibari rail link, which has been non-functional since 1965.
India has announced their playing 11 for the first test against Australia beginning tomorrow at the Adelaide Oval. Prithvi Shaw and Wriddhiman Saha have been named in India's playing 11 for the first test. The side has opted to go in with 6 batsmen in the lineup. Wriddhiman Saha has been given the nod as the wicketkeeper for the first test. The first test of the series will be a pink ball contest. Australia had won the ODI series while the men in blue walked away with the honours in the T20 series. Now let us take a look at the weather forecast for today. The national capital will have mainly clear sky in the day. The minimum temperature was 6 degrees Celsius and the maximum will be around 19 degrees Celsius. In Mumbai, sky will be partly cloudy. The minimum temperature was 22 degrees Celsius and the maximum will be around 31 degrees Celsius. Chennai will have generally cloudy sky with light rain. The temperature will hover between 25 and 30 degrees Celsius. Kolkata is expected to have mainly clear sky. The temperature will vary between 17 and 27 degrees Celsius. On to north, Srinagar will witness mainly clear sky. The minimum temperature was -5 degrees Celsius while the maximum will be around 12 degrees. In Jammu, the lower level of temperature was 5 degrees Celsius while the upper level will be around 18 degrees. The city will have mainly clear sky. In Leh, sky will be clear. The temperature will vary between -11 degrees Celsius to maximum 3 degrees. In Gilgit, there will be partly cloudy sky today. The temperature will be a maximum 11 degrees Celsius during the day. In Muzaffarabad, a mainly clear sky is expected today. The temperature will hover between 22 and 13 degrees Celsius. In Hyderabad, the minimum temperature was 19 degrees Celsius, while the maximum will be around 30 degrees Celsius. The city will have partly cloudy sky with haze. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi leads the nation in paying tribute to the brave hearts at National War Memorial on 50th anniversary of Vijay Diwas. Farmer welfare is prime concern of the government, says INB Minister Prakash Javadekar. National COVID-19 recovery rate improves to 95.21%. In Jammu and Kashmir, polling concludes for 7th phase of District Development Council elections. Visiting UK Foreign Secretary Dominic Raab calls on the Prime Minister. And in cricket, India and Australia to lock horns in the first day and night test match at the Adelaide Oval tomorrow. For details of these stories and more, log on to our website www.newsonair.com. And with that, we end the Midday News.